a little bit about myself and my work and how it's relevant to you and your life and how it can support you in a deeper meeting of yourself. And of course, if more of you is present, your life shifts and becomes, has a deeper fabric, has a deeper weave in existence. One of my foundational trainings, my foundational training is Dakini. And Dakini points to a field of women that have come to support the awakening and the evolution of existence. And it also includes men who are called Dakas. But let me stay with Dakini for a moment. So in one's personal work with Dakini, if we work, and we usually do, most of the time, except for a few rare, totally wild Dakinis who won't go near a guru or anybody else. Now, they're very rare, those ones. Most will work in some field of collaboration, in a field of awakening, to support their seeing. So in her work, in my work, part of my work over many years, by the way, with the guru, is to find my way up into the mountain of enlightenment, into a certain aspect of mind I need to access wisdom. Call it the bodhicitta, the awakened mind. So there's a way to that, and then from there I can draw wisdom that can support my own deeper awakening, now embodied as I descend. So first the ascent happens, and then the descent will follow. And of course, the Dakini is the one that likes to help others on their way. So then I will use the awakened mind to help others. So try to understand or see, the enlightened mind is not the goal. You are the goal. Your true nature is the goal. Enlightened mind is beautiful, wonderful, you know, when we access it, and it's also tricky, and we're not always there, and some, you know, we have our own journey with it, but it's not the goal. That must be clear. It's not the ultimate goal. We have to go there and draw from these sparkling, shimmering jewels to support our own awakening and others, yours. Okay, so that's a journey we take, and a journey we support the people that come and ask us for support with. Call them students, clients, whatever you like. It depends on their level of commitment, what they might, you know, somebody might just come once. You are also supported to access greater heights of awareness and consciousness and sight, because without that access, your protections, your boundaries will not soften, and the lost selves do not return. So this is an actually important piece. I can't just hold it. I also have to enable you to find that in yourself. It's a very important aspect for protections to drop. So there's that first ascent into the mountain of enlightenment, and then there's the descent, which can be super bumpy. As we come down back into the body, where now we're going to begin to embody this knowing and invite the lost selves to return, all the way down into the sex and even below. And that's a more challenging journey. It's more like the human path. You know, the other one we're going into spirit so strongly. This one we're coming more down into the human, and it's a lot more challenging. You know, transcendence is actually easier than being in the flesh and suffering, whatever it is we're here to suffer, or here to feel, or here to experience, here to learn. Those things are far more challenging for us. So then my work is to help to descend into the body, and the Dakini body, and we're all different in different parts of our practice, but our bodies often have very refined aspects of perception. So I can perceive myself and find myself where I may be lost or so forth. Obviously I may have support as well, and that I can perceive into through your protections where aspects of you are hiding, missing, ashamed, whatever it is, you know, whatever they hide behind it. The word shame simply means to cover. So it just means I'm covering myself, I'm protecting myself. And you know, sometimes that's super necessary. If you're a little child and you get shamed for touching your genitals, it's very good to protect yourself, actually. It's not a bad reaction, it's a correct reaction. It becomes a problem when it becomes a habit, unconscious, and you always feel ashamed of your genitals. Now that's obviously something it's not something you really want to live with. So then the kini is going to help you see that, where it's become the pattern. And we're also going to look behind that part of you to find the lost self. Because the more of you that exists in the moment, the more that can feel, and the less things like trauma start to follow you around. Trauma means I cannot feel what I need to feel. It's too much for me. Why is it too much for me? Because not enough of you is existing. Yeah, it's like if you push this away, everything is moving away, then what's going to feel? What needs to feel? So obviously we go into this tight trauma state because there's not enough of you there to feel. There's certainly enough of you, but for some reason, and that's what we look for. Why has it left? How do we gently invite the return of yourself into the moment? More feelings, more existence, and things you can then feel, really big things, and they'll just move through you. So that's a lot of what I work with. And at the moment, what I'm exploring a little bit of and finding it really beautiful is working with women and helping them re-establish the connection of true beauty with themselves. Not the one that is coming from the culture around them, but what is truly beautiful in them. And I can do this in many different ways, but one method I'm working with right now, which is a tantric method actually, is called Yoni Gazing, where the woman is simply lying back and in her way, as she feels comfortable, is revealing her yoni, her vagina, her labia and so forth, and showing this, and I'm looking at the yoni. And it's a remarkable practice. Men and women do this practice together, of course, and in different ways, which can be truly beautiful, but this conversation is not about that practice. When it's between two women, and there's women with different types of sexuality, but let's say it's two women who are heterosexual. The gazing does not really lead to sexuality. Doesn't get sexualized. And what I mean by that is, if I'm looking at a woman's yoni, I'm not seeking anything from the woman. I'm not seeking to become her lover. I'm not seeking anything in return from her. I'm just looking at her. And it's a great privilege to look at a woman's yoni because you'll know things about her you would never know simply by looking at her face. You know, the way the folds move, the way the energies are revealing themselves, the colors, the way she hides or doesn't hide. There's so much you can learn from just looking at a woman's yoni about her soul, about her person. It's almost like looking into the eyes, or maybe it's like looking more into the eyes. And when I look into the yoni, and the woman receiving will feel the same way, I embrace the beauty of the yoni a little bit more than I did before. I'm like, oh my, look at this is amazing, look at that, right? And suddenly, I'm embracing myself a little bit more too. And healing because I'm noticing, wow, she has this beauty, and I'm feeling it in my own body. So it's a great healing between women, in terms of sisters, friends. Often one finds even in this moment there's a healing with the mother, because this is something daughters and mothers didn't share, this beauty of our bodies. We never speak about it, we don't share it. So in this way, it's a practice to access a part of, many things can return in this moment, depending on what the woman is suffering with, what wounding she's suffering with, what shame she's gone through. It's a beautiful practice. But oftentimes it goes to embracing a beauty in her which doesn't have to be seen by anybody else except her. She gets to feel it. She gets to, wherever she walks, she gets to feel, wow, this is beauty that I'm holding in myself. And it doesn't have to be acknowledged or seen by anyone else. So there can be a great healing for a woman that's externalized her beauty most of her life. So just so you know, this is work I do with women. And I'm also going to be offering an in-person and online group. There's a way I'll be doing this. I've figured out a method where we will be working with this method together. So the people I work with are often people with great awareness, done a lot of work with themselves, not all of them, but many of them, and they're very committed to the path and get committed to their own growth and their meeting themselves. So this is a high-level practice. It's not a beginner practice, and it does require some deep work has already begun with the self. But if you feel ready for it, it's a very beautiful piece of work. It'll be done incredibly respectfully and at the pace. So some women might do it clothed. You can do it even clothed in a funny way, which you'll find out about. Just to be with the energy, the spirit of the Yoni, and see her first, or feel her, or however it wants to be. It can be. If you're interested in this work or any other work, feel free to get in touch with me. Through my school, which is schoolofsacredsexuality.com. That's the best way, really. Or, shima@shima.co.za. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Please leave your comments, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about the practice, and including if you practice with yourself or another. Namaste.